Morning. Welcome back to another fine cloudy day here in Eastern North Carolina. We've had some rain, and that's a good thing. It also means this stuff is growing, which is also a good thing, but let me show you the potting table. There's some evidence of the rain we've gotten. I've already emptied that a couple of times. And yeah, stuff is definitely growing here on the potting table. I'm gonna have to take care of this today. And I gotta plant something that I've been meaning to plant, but I haven't planted yet. But I really have to plant it. But first, let me check on the greenhouse. There's still some stuff in the greenhouse. I gotta get it cleared out before that sun breaks out later this week, maybe. It's supposed to be cloudy, maybe partly rainy throughout the week. So anyways, let me get to cleaning up some stuff around the greenhouse here, and then we're gonna go plant the one thing that I really want to get planted today, maybe after we plant some other stuff. So yeah, so buckle up and let's get moving. I got this Agastache here, Heather Queen. It's still small, but I'm just thinking whether I should plant it out in the garden or not now. I'm gonna wait for it to get a bit bigger. I don't think it's anywhere near root bound. I have it up on the potting bench, kind of looks nice, but it is growing. I started this from seed. I actually started a lot of them from seed. This is the only one to have survived of this variety. This is Heather Queen, Heather Queen. If I remember what it looks like, I'll put a picture up over here. Or if I remember to look it up, I'll put a picture there. But back on the potting bench. These are the Thorburns terracotta tomatoes. They've really taken off with the 4 days of rain that we've had. It hasn't been 4 consecutive days of rain, but it has rained on and off for the past 4 days, and we've gotten about 4 inches, which is nice. And apparently these tomatoes are loving it, so I'm gonna get these in the ground today. You know, I've heard, and I've probably seen some people do it on the interwebs. I keep losing myself out of picked frame here. Sorry. People say if you take the side shoot off of a tomato plant, you can put it in a thing of water and it'll start to root, but this one doesn't seem to be rooting. It's been a few days. It might start rooting soon. I just have it sitting on a ledge by the front of the greenhouse there. Doesn't seem to be dying, but no roots so far. We'll see what happens. Before I put my gloves on and start planting out a few things, I want to show you some things I've noticed here in the veg garden and some things that are happening. Right before the few days of rain, I finally got around to cleaning up this bed here. I added 4 bags of black cow compost manure, and down there's a little hill, and over here there's a little hill, and in each of those hills is about 4 to 5 pumpkin seeds. So hopefully in end of October, maybe November, I'll have some big pumpkins to harvest. Over here, my watermelon has gone bonkers. It is growing like gangbusters, and you can see it's vining out quite nicely. There's even some flower tips. So hopefully this week they start to, I don't know if you can see that, they start to bloom, then they'll get pollinated, and maybe in August we'll get some watermelons. Down here, my wife's sunflowers, they are all popping. They're coming up, doing quite well. So hopefully she'll have a nice little harvest of that. Those aren't the only seeds that are doing well though. Let me show you some of the other stuff. This is the San Vicente hybrid tomato. And as you can see, I have little baby tomatoes growing, and hopefully they keep doing their thing. I think there's another stem down here with tomatoes. I've never seen tomatoes grow so many onto a stem. So this is new to me. The variety is also new to me, and we'll see what happens. quite a few gnats and mosquitoes out. It's cool and damp, so I think the mosquitoes are loving it. Right here is the rattlesnake pole bean. It's like a stream bean, and this is what it looks like. If the camera will focus in on that, and get the camera to focus there. Well, I'm not sure if the camera focused there or not, but that's what it is. Now, I did taste some of these the other day, and they're all right. Not bad. I got bees up there. I don't know if we can see them. Hitting the flowers, pollinating. I don't know. Not a big fan. They're not bad. They're just not. They're not like my Blue Lake 47s, which is probably my favorite bean this year. Let's see if we can grab a couple of those. Gnats keep trying to get in my eyes. I don't know what that's all about. Very good. You ever grow Blue Lake 47 or rattlesnake pole bean? Let me know in the comments below. What's your favorite bean to grow? He's getting a little worn and tattered, so I'm probably going to do a succession crop soon in one of the metal raised beds, because there's a bunny in the neighborhood. And though I've seen no evidence of him chomping on my beans, I think it's only a matter of time. I don't know. There's a few other things I want to show you here in the veg garden. There we go. My seed bed experiment seems to be doing pretty well. Those are red skin dahlias down there that I'm going to have to start thinning. And if we come over here, snapdragons. I'll let them get a little bigger before I start thinning them. Tell you, man, the gnats getting a bit much. I'm gonna have to go find some bug spray. Whew. Anyways, oh, one other thing. Look at these. This is my hedge, or part of the hedge. I want it to go all the way down there, and it's starting to. But this is Mexican sunflower right here, and it's looking pretty good. Let me give you a close-up. Flowers galore. Look at that. Look how bright that flower is. Love it. It's even brighter when the sun's out. Let me start dropping some of these plants into the ground that I've pulled off the bench, like the tomatoes and the lemongrass, and then we'll get to the main thing I really want to get planted today, which you'll see in a few minutes. So let's start planting. Okay, 2 tomato plants are planted up. I put poles inside the cages so that as the plants get taller, I can kind of try to keep them straight and narrow as opposed to them being all wobbly. But even if they get all wobbly, it doesn't really matter. As long as they grow, stay within the cages, and produce fruit, life is good. Let's go plant up some lemongrass. Okay, so this is the front entrance to what will be the future flower garden or growing flower garden. As you can see, it's mainly just this little portion here that will eventually head down to the road, and that little portion there with the dahlias, and again that will eventually head down towards the road. But this is what it is for today, and I just took the lemongrass and planted it along this front edge here, and the same thing over here, and hopefully it'll form a nice little hedge of sorts on either side, ward off the deer, because apparently the deer don't like the smell of lemongrass, and it'll look nice and smell nice. So I did the tomatoes, I did the lemongrass. There's a few other things on the potting bench, but I'm not quite ready to plant them yet. They're still a little too small. But I have some gaps in the flower garden here that I'll eventually like to plant them in. And maybe this fall, especially once those seedlings over in the seed bed over there grow some more. Those plants will all go into a new section of the flower garden. Perhaps I'll do another 8-foot section for this fall, and so if I start planting them out around September, October, they should get a pretty good rooting in. Once they die back in mid to late November, maybe December, depends upon how the weather goes. Once they die back, I'll just mulch over them, and then by springtime all the flowers should come back again, theoretically, hopefully. So let me get to planting the one thing I really wanted to plant today, which is the point of this whole video. Notice I do it at the end, just to make you watch. Let me go grab the plant now. Helps if you press the record button. This is actually my second time doing this, and I'm starting to get sweat dripping down my face because it's getting quite warm now. It's supposed to get up to about 83. With the humidity, it'll probably feel more like 90. Either way, it's going to be in the shade, so that's good. So this wispy, crazy little looking thing here is a sweet mock orange, and if you haven't guessed by now, I got it from Arbor Day Foundation because it's cheap. If you haven't checked out Arbor Day Foundation, please go check out Arbor Day Foundation. They're not sponsoring this video, but you can get bare root plants for cheap if you join up as a member, which I think is like, I don't know, anywhere from $10 to $20 for the year. You get a member discount, and you can get a plethora of different types of trees and bushes and shrubs and other plants for really inexpensive prices. That being said, again, this was bare root. This was a little itty bitty thing with like no leaves on it. Stuck it in the pot, and this is what it's doing now, which is fine. This is its only first year, and again, this is a small plant. If you wanted a beautiful big mock orange, you can go spend lots of money. You can go spend lots of money and get yourself a bigger bush at your local garden center or nursery. But I saw this, and I think it was like $5 for the bare root, so I was like, why not? And again, this bush should get to about 10 foot wide, I think, 15 foot tall. And I think I'm going to plant it on this corner of the orchard, because why not? It'll be close to the street. People walking by, hopefully in the springtime, will be able to smell the sweet orange smell. It is allegedly deer resistant. We're going to put that to the test. And it's in a corner of the orchard where I don't want to put anything tall to block the sun. The sun basically comes from behind me and sets behind you guys and behind the camera there. So if I put something tall here, a lot of the trees over here would get shaded out eventually if this was taller than 15 feet. But I think 15 foot is a good height. I don't think it's going to create a shade issue at all. And again, it's, you know, it'll just be, I think, a lovely plant to fill this corner. The one thing it does require is good drainage. So I'm going to try to dig as deep as I can, put some compost in the base, and we'll see what happens. You know, apparently it can grow in clay soil too. Again, plant it, see what happens. If it fails, it fails. I've learned something. If it grows, bonus. So let me stop talking and yammering on and get this stuck in the ground. Well, there it is, all planted up, my sweet mock orange. Again, I hope it survives this year. I hope it truly is deer resistant. We're gonna find out. And perhaps in year 2 or 3, like so many other plants, it explodes and really starts to become quite the shrub as opposed to a few spindly twigs. If it does, awesome. Again, if the deer come along and eat it, such is life. I have a pretty heavy deer presence. There's about 6 to 8 deer that wander through the area periodically. And if they see something they like, they will go for it, especially if it's easy to get. The deer don't go into the veg garden. I think it's for a couple of different reasons, but these deer seem to be lazy. If they can get to it easily, they will get it. So when I didn't have a barrier up around the rose garden, they were going into the rose garden and eating the roses. But since I put up a barrier, even though it's not the world's greatest barrier, it's a few sticks, which I'll show you in an upcoming video. I have to do some major weeding and overhauling of the rose garden. I've been neglecting it. So again, if you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon to be notified when I do post up a new video, you'll hopefully then see when I do that overhaul of the rose garden, perhaps later this week. We got to see how the weather goes and holds out. But that is going to wrap it up for me today. It is getting quite warm and I'm a little sweaty. So I'm going to go inside and drink quite a bit of Gatorade and move on with editing this video. Oh, thank you all for watching. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Bye-bye. I know most of you have clicked off already and nobody's watching the end of this video, but I forgot to mention, I got to do mulching first. I got to mulch those lemongrasses. There's some boxwoods I have to mulch. I want to go do my mulching.